Have you ever wondered what it takes to not just live a long life, but a truly happy one? Maybe you've caught yourself thinking about those remarkable people who reach 100 and beyond, still smiling, still engaged, still full of life. It's natural to wonder, what's their secret? You're not alone in that curiosity. Many of us, especially after 60, start to reflect on how we can make our years not just longer, but richer and more fulfilling. Today, we're embarking on a shared journey to uncover 6 practical lessons from centenarians, people who've lived extraordinarily long lives and have wisdom to share. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand these 6 secrets to longevity and happiness, but also feel equipped with clear, actionable steps to weave them into your own life. We'll explore this through the eyes of someone just like you. Someone who's eager to learn how to thrive in their later years, ready to discover what makes a century of life so vibrant. Let's dive in. Let's meet Ellen, our companion for this journey. Ellen is 68, a retired school teacher who's always been active and curious about life. Recently, she's been thinking more about her future, especially since her own mother lived to 94 with a spark that never faded. Ellen wants to live just as vibrantly, not just for herself, but for her grandkids, who light up her world. But she's noticed that aging comes with questions about health, purpose, and how to stay joyful through it all. Like many of us, she's inspired by stories of centenarians and wonders what practical steps she can take to follow in their footsteps. So Ellen set out to learn from those who've lived past 100. And today, we're walking alongside her to uncover their secrets. Discovery Stage 1. Prioritize movement every day. Ellen's first step was to explore what centenarians do to stay physically strong. She came across stories of people like 101-year-old Fauja Singh, who ran marathons well into his 90s, and others who simply walked or gardened daily. What struck her was a common thread. Centenarians don't just exercise, they make movement a natural part of their lives. Research backs this up. Studies like one from the Blue Zones Project show that regular, low-intensity movement, think walking, stretching, or light chores, helps maintain muscle strength, joint flexibility, and heart health, all critical for longevity. For seniors, this kind of movement isn't just about fitness. It's about staying independent and energized for the things you love. Ellen realized she didn't need to run marathons. Instead, she started with a simple action, committing to a 20-minute walk every morning around her neighborhood. She noticed how it lifted her mood and gave her more stamina for her day. For you, a great first step could be finding a movement you enjoy. Maybe it's a stroll with a friend, a gentle yoga class, or even dancing to your favorite music at home. Even small steps add up. Ellen found that these daily walks became a habit she looked forward to, a reminder that movement is medicine. Discovery Stage 2. Nourish your body with purpose. Next, Ellen turned her attention to food. She read about centenarians in places like Okinawa, Japan, where diets are rich in vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins like fish. What stood out wasn't just what they ate, but how they approached food, with intention and moderation. A study from the National Institute on Aging highlights that a balanced diet, low in processed foods, supports brain health and reduces inflammation, both key to a long life. For Ellen, this was a wake-up call. She loved her occasional treats but noticed her energy dipped after heavy meals. So she decided to try one actionable change, adding a colorful vegetable to every dinner, like roasted carrots or steamed broccoli. She also started paying attention to portion sizes, savoring smaller amounts to feel satisfied without feeling sluggish. This small shift made her feel lighter and more vibrant. You can try this too. Maybe swap one processed snack for a piece of fruit, or add a handful of greens to your plate. Ellen discovered that eating with purpose wasn't about restriction. It was about fueling her body to feel its best. Ellen's journey was just beginning, but already she felt a spark of possibility. These small changes, daily walks and intentional eating, were simple but powerful. They reminded her that longevity starts with choices we make today. Let's keep exploring what else centenarians can teach us. Discovery Stage 3. Cultivate strong social connections. As Ellen continued her journey, she began to notice something else about centenarians. They were rarely alone in spirit. Whether it was family gatherings in Sardinia or community events in Loma Linda, California, these long-lived individuals thrived on meaningful relationships. Ellen reflected on her own life. She loved her family, but since retiring, she sometimes felt isolated, especially on quiet days. Digging deeper, she found a study from Harvard's Longevity Project that showed strong social ties can lower stress and even add years to your life. For seniors, staying connected isn't just about fun, it's about emotional resilience and a sense of belonging that keeps you grounded. Ellen decided to take a small but deliberate step. She reached out to an old friend for a weekly coffee chat and joined a local book club. At first, it felt like a leap, but soon, those moments of laughter and shared stories became highlights of her week. For you, a great way to start could be calling a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or joining a community group, maybe a gardening club or a volunteer program. Ellen found that these connections rekindled her sense of purpose, reminding her that we're stronger together. Discovery Stage 4. Embrace a positive mindset. Ellen's next discovery came from a surprising place: the power of attitude. She read about centenarians like 103-year-old Dr. Shigeki Hinohara, who credited his long life to staying curious and optimistic. Many centenarians shared this trait. They focused on what they could control and found joy in small moments. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology supports this, showing that a positive outlook can reduce the risk of chronic diseases and improve mental health, especially for those over 60. Ellen thought about her own mindset. She sometimes worried about aging or dwelled on what she couldn't do anymore. Inspired, she decided to try a simple practice. Each morning, she wrote down one thing she was grateful for, like a sunny day or a call from her grandkids. This small habit shifted her perspective, helping her notice more moments of joy. You can try this too. Maybe keep a gratitude journal or simply pause each day to reflect on something positive. Ellen noticed that this practice didn't erase challenges, but it made them feel more manageable, like a light breaking through the clouds. Ellen was starting to see a pattern. Longevity wasn't about grand gestures, it was about consistent, intentional choices that added up over time. Movement, nutrition, connection, and mindset were all pieces of the puzzle, and she felt empowered by how accessible they were. Her journey was teaching her that a long, happy life was within reach, one step at a time. Discovery Stage 5. Stay curious and engaged. Ellen's journey took her to another key lesson from centenarians. They never stop learning. She read about people like 100-year-old painter Carmen Herrera, who found joy in creating art well into her later years, and others who took up new hobbies or studied new subjects. What united them was a sense of curiosity and engagement with the world. A study from the University of Cambridge found that lifelong learning, whether through reading, hobbies, or new skills, can boost cognitive health and delay mental decline, which is especially important for those over 60. Ellen thought about her own routine. She loved teaching but hadn't explored new interests since retiring. Inspired, she decided to try something small. She enrolled in a local watercolor painting class. At first, she was nervous, but the process of learning and creating rekindled a sense of excitement she hadn't felt in years. For you, a great first step could be picking up a new hobby, maybe learning a musical instrument, trying a cooking class, or even watching educational videos online. Ellen found that staying curious kept her mind sharp and her days full of possibility, proving it's never too late to try something new. Discovery Stage 6. Find purpose in every day. The final lesson Ellen uncovered was perhaps the most profound. Centenarians live with purpose, whether it's caring for family, volunteering, or pursuing personal passions. They have a reason to get up each morning. Ellen read about centenarians like 102-year-old volunteer Lillian Weber, who sewed dresses for children in need. Research from the Rush Memory and Aging Project shows that having a sense of purpose can lower the risk of depression and even extend life expectancy. For seniors, purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as nurturing relationships or contributing to your community. Ellen reflected on what mattered most to her. She loved her grandkids and wanted to be a role model for them, so she started a small project, reading and recording stories for her grandchildren to listen to, something she could share with them now and leave as a legacy. This gave her days new meaning. You can find purpose too. Maybe it's volunteering at a local shelter, mentoring someone younger, or starting a small project that lights you up. Ellen discovered that purpose was like a compass, guiding her toward a life that felt truly fulfilling. Visual: Ellen reading a storybook into a recorder, smiling warmly, with a graphic showing purpose else lower depression plus longer life. Ellen's exploration of these 6 lessons, movement, nutrition, connection, mindset, curiosity, and purpose, was transforming how she saw her future. Each step she took felt like a building block toward not just a longer life, but a happier one. She was starting to realize that the wisdom of centenarians wasn't out of reach. It was in the everyday choices she could make right now. Empowering wisdom, reflecting on Ellen's journey. Let's take a moment to look back at where Ellen started. When we first met her, she was a curious 68-year-old, inspired by her mother's vibrant life but unsure how to make her own later years as fulfilling. Through her journey, she explored the wisdom of centenarians and discovered 6 powerful lessons that transformed her outlook. She learned that daily movement, like her morning walks, kept her body strong and her spirit lifted. Eating with purpose, adding colorful vegetables to her meals, gave her more energy and clarity. Building social connections through coffee chats and a book club filled her days with laughter and belonging. Embracing a positive mindset through daily gratitude helped her find joy in the small moments. Staying curious with her watercolor painting class sparked excitement and kept her mind sharp. And finding purpose by recording stories for her grandkids gave her a deeper sense of meaning. These changes weren't drastic, but together they reshaped how Ellen saw her future. For you, these lessons are just as accessible. They're not about perfection. They're about small, intentional steps that add up to a longer, happier life. By walking this journey with Ellen, we've fulfilled our promise. You now understand 6 practical strategies from centenarians and can feel confident applying them to thrive in your own way. Your path forward: a life of joy and vitality. Living a long and happy life is a journey, not a race, and every step you take builds a stronger, more vibrant you. If there's one thing to take away from Ellen's story, let it be this. Start with one small action that resonates with you. Maybe it's committing to a 20-minute walk each day, adding a vegetable to your dinner, or reaching out to a friend for a chat. Pick one lesson from today's journey and try it this week. Notice how it feels, and let that spark guide you forward. We'd love to hear from you. What's one lesson from centenarians you're inspired to try? Or how do you already weave these secrets into your life? Share your thoughts or commitments in the comments below. Your story matters, and it could inspire someone else in our community. For more journeys like this, packed with practical wisdom for thriving after 60, make sure to subscribe to Stronger After 60 and click the notification bell. If you're curious about boosting your energy even further, our video on Simple Ways to Stay Active After 60 is a great next step. You can find it linked below. Thank you for sharing this journey with us. Here's to your continued strength, wisdom, and vitality. Take good care, and we'll see you in the next video.